Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV once more. Yeah, with Sirius because I'm lazy and this is far simpler to just re-record the stuff instead of looking at it and editing what I have already recorded. That is due to me having made a stupid decision back then about how I wanted to record this and now regretting it. So okay, I've been tasked with helping out in the kitchen. Once I've grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our host to traditional Doman cuisine. On behalf of the Science, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into the piling gold. Sirius, forgive me, but I must see to the Doman's needs. The Rising Stones. What a peculiar name for a sanctuary. Just looking around here. History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problems of the present are often to be found within the past. We need but seek them out. What if we wanted to solve a problem that's already happened, like the Guardians destroying Doma? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. It was then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not to blink, lest I deprive myself of even a split second of your radiance. You do flatter me, and I do believe you had a bit too much to drink. You think this is impressive? In Doma we train to run on in the treetops. Don't mind Papa Limo, he's making a fuss over nothing as usual. Your sense of balance is amazing for a boy's age. I wonder how he got so good. What in the seven hells are you doing up there? Get down here before you fall and break your neck. Some of the Domans wanted to learn how to fight and it's fallen to me to oversee their training. First, I need to find suitable equipment for everyone. Just a quick overview about what's going on in the Rising Stones. That changes from time to time, which I find pretty cool. But we wanted to continue with the main quest, namely with Minfilia.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand. If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me.
All right.
When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Ul'dah spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed.
That's good.
There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale. Yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight.
So, she means that people with the Echo are specifically born because they have the Echo in this era. Okay, and means to defeat Ascians might be there?
With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldesion.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, I would like to know as well.
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
Yeah, the students, we lost contact with the students of Baldesion. Seems their homeland is gone.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
He just stays there.
It is done, my lord. Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Okay. Telaji, what are you planning? Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianger will send word if there are any developments. Until such a time that he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations, which we had previously attributed to good King Mogulmok XII. But the king is no more as a blessing for which we have to thank you. Yet all is not well in the Twelveswood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah this time are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present they are in the Seventh Heavens awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet them at once. Asilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear the suit. Sirius, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Okay. Which actually has, I feel, a bit connection to this refugee crisis Europe went through a few years ago. With, yeah, we want to help the people, sure, but just letting them in means more and more will come, and it never ends, and even our resources are limited. I can get that. There is no perfect solution. And you can't just let them rot at the other. You can't take them all, right? It's impossible. Anyway. Draggle-tailed refugee. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia and I lead the science of the Seventh Dawn. Traffic praise, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece it together alive to replace the one that got took. They say that there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, and he wrote. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners, and didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. The fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it's true if they accepted the Domin's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it's not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been afflicted by the calamity. And so it's with great regret that I must deny your request. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word? Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, milady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven Hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady... We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Eden Papalimo will see to it. Alphinaud's been treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Sirius. Okay. Refugees in Ul'dah. I can understand why we would rebel considering the situation in that town, but this could be a very messy situation. Okay. Hey, Alphinaud, you look alright?
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life.
Massive oversimplification.
To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
So perfect timing if someone wanted to deteriorate the situation. And Teleji already spoke of revolution in that cutscene. As I told you before, it's all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, giving rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Yeah. That refugee crisis Ul'dah faces reminds me a lot of real life. But it's not good. Now is not a good time, Sergeant Sharplate. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphinaud, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riots are somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Fennerland. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow, but damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny the tensions between Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend, who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. That these events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel with good cause. Were he to claim without the necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Sirius. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. You may bark at a request for such information, but I have no doubt you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I meanwhile shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? You look as though you have something to say, Sergeant Sharplate, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there's wisdom in your words. An able individual, even one with ties to the flames, may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brassblades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking with the Blades posted there. Lost Hope is Black Brush, a bit outside. Huh, been a while since I've seen you. A note on this character. Leofric? A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I mean to take this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with a merchant have yet to return. I'm increasingly concerned that Sazavaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Sazavaka. He will explain everything. What brings you here, adventurer? Search for refugees. Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. You're female, right? Doesn't matter. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon. You're the flames, but you're not with the flames? I see. If Loafek bid you speak with me, then I take it you agreed to help? Trust me praise for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed. Ha! Childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of a merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he is not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why don't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Calm down, good man. Who are you? What do you want? It's true, I followed that merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cage of weapons we had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into two groups and sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parlay the affairs, but when they started arguing and then fighting, and when everyone was fighting and the flames were shouting to give no quarter and... Oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of a sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. We were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, but the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they are forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Maybe then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. And a bit of an intimidation tactic. 7 has found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. Huh, so that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lad. We are more than willing to kill you ourselves. We can take him. You should never have come here. Let's just assume we're not just knocking them out. And here are the twins, yeah? You beat him like it was nothing. Thor Almighty, what are we going to do now? We yield? Alright, we yield. That's what you wanted, ain't it? So go away and leave us be. Okay, and now tell the other refugees that we saved them. I think. You've returned? Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, we had no choice. Better a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot getting butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? He wasn't there. Huh? Where else could he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? As I recall, he wished to approach refugees there as well, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. And now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of his futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him. Convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Okay, but looking at the time, it might be time to end the episode. Yeah, until next time when we deal more with the refugees here. I'm Ace and don't get lost.